Alright, I think I'm videoing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Alright, 3 subjects probably, or something like that. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. Quinta guy, his last video was pointed out he's believes in free will. So, I mean, too bad he didn't say that earlier, so I could have just discounted everything he says. I mean, really, if you don't understand that there's no freedom, take it from the extreme point. Well-disciplined, well-cultured, well-civilized human being who's disciplined by a bunch of notions of fairness and justice and integrity, they can't act against those principles. It's just a fact. They can't. If you're not a thief, you're not a thief. And you're not one because you have an idea, an understanding of its wrongness, that it makes you an invaluably. It diminishes your value. It diminishes your use and function. You can't look at yourself in the mirror. That idea doesn't come from nowhere, and there's no freedom to ignore it. It's just this whole argument of freedom is just so irritating. Because it's like the libertarians with their notions of freedom. Like somehow you have more freedom in some sort of place where you have to hire bodyguards for your children. Or where you don't have any social infrastructure, where you have to buy everything from a capitalist, somebody making a profit. And they call that freedom. No, I'm sorry. It's failure. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject. But just really, there's nowhere to go with that. If you're too stupid to figure out that there's no notion. Freedom is a fake word. It doesn't mean anything. Well, there are levels of confinement, levels of restraint, levels of limitation. You can be unburdened by a recognized or categorized impediment. You can be unburdened, but you cannot be free. Okay, next. Fred's novel. Yeah, might as well get to that. Oh, crap. What a waste of time. I mean, I knew he'd throw in some kind of sex and, some sort of perverted crap. But it's just, so far, it's 80% perverted crap. I mean, just to extremes, and you're just saying, what does this have to do with? So let's say you create an anti-natalist society that was as draconian as you could write it up. And somehow that means they cured all sexually transmitted diseases, apparently. That's his notion. And now people just fornicate in the streets, and usually using anuses, because somehow they have a phobia against vaginal sex. They haven't figured out what a condom is. They've regressed and forgot what condoms are, or forgot what pills are, or forgot what vasectomies are. Just amazing crap. But anyway, just very disappointing. I mean, it's not in any way a reasonable thinking person's perception or view of an important, I think, engaging philosophical subject. He just jerked off on it, plain and simple. But he does that to most things. I'm underneath it all. He's just a fucking 10-year-old boy. But anyway, fuck it. So enough of that already. Boy, I got through those 2 pretty quick. Having kind of a dull day here. Fuck. really don't want to have to go to work today. I have that problem a lot. I don't want to. So there we go. Got me right to my subject, which is want. So anyway, assholes like the Q guy keep bringing up this suffering, life is suffering thing. And, Matt, thou art that, like 2 years ago, kind of pointed out that these words are kind of subject to some interpretation. And depending on your interpretation of the word suffering, as Buddha stated it, the word might be more accurately defined as want, unresolved want, perpetual desire, unsatiable desire. So if you replace the word with, suffering, with insatiability, life is insatiability. You will be burdened by something, either, plain overt suffering, or the suffering of desire, the suffering of dissatisfaction, the suffering of avarice, envy, all these things that will plague you. That life is just a bunch of emotional plagues, essentially. And so if you recontextualize the term in that way, it makes a lot more sense, first. And I think it's a lot closer to what I've been arguing. In spite of the words he's tried to put in my mouth, I haven't just gone around going, life is suffering. I haven't done that. It's not my obligation to defend 2,000-year-old, 4,000 or whatever, 1,000-year-old notions of reality stated by other people. It's my obligation to explain and defend what I say. And it's really rude to have to keep pulling the words he puts in my mouth out of my mouth, to defend who I am and what I say, instead of this slandering asshole getting to slander who I am. The creepy pedophile motherfucker. What's with the glove thing, too? I got glasses and gloves, and he talks about how he knows reality, how he's the real person. Yeah, fairly funny. I wonder if his free will compelled him to dress like a clown. Yeah, it freely floated out of the ether of the universe into his brain. The idea that this would be a good persona. Yeah, it came out of nowhere. Magic, and a magic-free idea. Anyway. Yeah, just disgusting. So, yeah, I guess I'm done. Yeah, well, no way. There's probably more to say. Yeah, perpetual want. So anyway, yeah, I've gotten through, first couple of chapters of Fred's book. So I'll just do a quick rundown. So I guess he's got this character. I think it's the same character. I don't know. Well, anyway. And she's apparently violated the don't get pregnant law or something. There's just two characters. One's in prison for violating it, and one's grown up liking the idea of the social order. Well, no, that doesn't make sense either. Because somehow she likes fireworks, is what she likes. Well, there's no point in me trying to explain it. Yeah, but he did exactly as I stated. I mean, he's turned it into some kind of 1984 mockery of reality, where you create institutions of preposterous extremes. It's just a joke and a mockery. Like a Congress where congressmen don't argue, they fuck each other, and that's how they decide policy or something. This kind of nonsense is all over this thing, and just a useless pile of shit. So anyway, I'll get to his video. That's the idea. Yeah, he made another video regarding Professor Anton's video about gift and imposition. It really is quite hilarious, because they just won't accept this word imposition. They won't accept the idea that somebody makes a choice, a decision in their heads, and it impacts other people, and that's called imposing. So, if society imposes on me huge taxation for smoking, somehow it's not an imposition. They didn't impose it on me. No, they truthfully are trying to protect the young. Yeah, get real. Are this idea that somehow you could rape the future, and I mean thoroughly rape it, and we're already stealing their money, but and enslaving them. In practical fact, make sure it's still on. And, that's okay. So you can do anything you want to the future because they don't exist yet. And so you can't impose on them. You can't burden them. You can't do anything negative to them in any possible way because they don't exist yet. That's his notion of reality. This is a foundation this is the premise I'm supposed to accept for rational conversation. Sorry, it's insipid. This is one of the most basic biological functions. Okay, it's like getting fat from eating cherry pies. Okay, yeah, you eat cherry pies, you get fat. That's what will happen. You get pregnant if you don't do anything to not get pregnant. All right, and you have sex. That's what's going to happen. You're going to get pregnant unless you're broken. That's just the way it works. It's a function. You choose to allow the function. You choose not to. You can't say, God made me fat. The universe made me fat. If you put the cherry pies in your mouth, you're going to get fat. I mean, this isn't complicated. I have to argue something this basic that it doesn't happen from nowhere. It doesn't happen without any capacity to stop it from happening. It's just a lie. Someone shouldn't advise the overeaters that maybe they should make a celery pie, an apple pie even. Maybe they'll be less fat. There's no premise here. There's nowhere to start to even have a conversation if you can't accept simple concepts and this argument that they don't exist yet. I mean, what is that? They will exist if you behave a certain way. They're going to exist. It's a fact. I mean, it's just this. This is it. This is intelligent conversation on planet Earth. And that's sort of the good thing about his book, is that it was such a mockery of the human organism that, in spite of the fact that they made it sound like he sort of made it sound like a kind of a negative that some people would just choose to off themselves. Yeah, I'd off myself. It's a silly world. Preposterously silly. I mean, fuck. Yeah. It's just stupid. Who the fuck would live in such a world? What a Fred. Anyway. Planet of the Freds. There's just nowhere to go here. I mean, people are calling it a gift to act on selfish impulse, to satisfy personal ambitions and desires. Okay, so that's a gift. And, overt selfishness, that's gifting. And if you do something to jeopardize or put something else at risk, that's not imposing. Okay. Well, what can you do with language when you're going to break these basic words? These are fundamental language words. They're just fundamental to any kind of rational notion of value, justice, fairness. You can't have any notions of these things if you're going to break these words. He even used the term gift economy, which I thought was another pile of crap. It says there could be such a thing. And he used Wikipedia and open source software as examples. And they're alternative economies, yes, but they're not gift economies. That's just silly, I think. Wikipedia, people are just paying for a service. They'd probably like it if it was a service provided, in some better way. But it's a pretty functional, efficient service, and they're just basically saying thank you. And so he's calling that a gift. No, I don't think that's the definition of gift. I think that is an economy of exchange, value for value, rewards for value. And it's quite clear that if Wikipedia didn't collect enough money, it wouldn't exist. So clearly there's not a unbinding contract here, there's a binding extortive kind of contract. Either we get enough money or there won't be any such thing. And open source software, yeah, most of it has, I mean, it's even gotten worse now because there's been a lot of shysters have gotten into the game and they've malwared their free software to pieces. But the idea was that it was an alternative economy again. It wasn't a gift economy. It was the effort of the software developers was that, you know, I had some free time, not employed right at the moment. I can do this little project and you can pay me for it. You know, I can't force you to, but, you know, it'd be nice if I got paid, compensated. And that was the ambition of the writers. In the very beginning, it was people that just had free time and wanted to do something for the internets or for computer science in general, because they had such a strong passion for it. But I don't think there's too much of that anymore. The days of the truly, completely free is a little bit narrow and thin. But again, but this doesn't have any applicability to anything in the real world. The real world contains hard work. Again, this is work people wanted to do because they wanted to make a contribution to something they valued. You know, you don't go collect people's garbage as a gift, you know, and expect nothing in return. Get real. You certainly can't eat nothing. So unless you have some other means of survival to depend on people's generosity, you know, what's the name of that play? Well, you know, I depend on the generosity of others or whatever. Yeah, nobody, realistically, unless you got one humming vagina, you're not going to get away with that. We see where useless old men end up. They end up in a cardboard box. You know, so fuck this bullshit. Gift economy. So anyway, that's a long way from even Professor Anton's use of the word. But Fred basically just says there's no such thing. You can't judge these behaviors. You can't. They're outside of concepts like a true offering, a true giving, or a true imposing. That somehow they're sacrosanct. They are part of the DNA God as biological functions, and you know, you can't trespass on that. I mean, it's just such incredible crap. If they came up with a pill tomorrow that would change our biology so we don't shit anymore, but we shit pure gold, Fred would probably be one of the guys against it. No, I'm against it. It's an obscenity against nature. Shit should stink. Yeah, I mean, they really do have. They're just full of the religion, Gaia. These people aren't atheists, they're pantheists, they're whatever, deists. They're full of shit is what they are. And it ain't golden shit. It be bullshit. Frozen thin layer. It's been frozen before. So, hopefully it won't last. Yeah, hopefully this will be like last year. Winter will be over in 2 weeks. Really, I'm never in the mood for winter, but with every passing day, less and less in the mood for any of this shit. It's harder and harder to breathe this air. It's been used by all you assholes. Well, that was another joke kind of thing. I mean, the Quinta guy made some argument about, you know, because you say life is shit, implying that every molecule has to be made of shit. And it occurred to me that every molecule probably has been shit. At some point in its existence, every molecule that you're made up of has come out of an anus. I mean, every single elementary molecule on this planet at one time in its existence at least. It's probably been shitted many times, some of them. But yeah, they've all been shit. They've all been shitted out of a shitter. So yeah, we're just made out of shit. We are literally made out of shit. I mean, it's the truth. We are. We are factually made out of stuff that was previously shit in its previous incarnations. Yeah, live with that. Even all the gold in Fort Knox probably got shitted out of an ass at one point. Well, nah, maybe not. I guess they do dig that out of the ground. They got put in the ground a long time ago when the earth was all melted. Alright, so there's a lot of molecules that haven't been shit. I requalify. The molecules in the biosphere have been shit many times. Yeah, the ones in the ground, no, a lot of them haven't been anywhere. They haven't done anything for 4 billion years, 5 billion. They've just been sitting there going, dum dum dum, a molecule sitting here in the earth, doing nothing forever. Yeah, they don't really do that. They don't sing, or dance, or prance, or throw a lance, or give a girl a glance, or fuck that shit. Anyway, I think I'd be done now. So thank you. It made the walk more tolerable. It doesn't walk into prison. It made my walk to the prison more tolerable to have somebody to talk to on my way to the work camp. I have to jump across this mighty stream without getting my foot wet. So there's a little lump of leaves there. I think I'll go for that. Oof. I made it. Pretty much. I'm almost there. Alright. Oh, my back hurts now. Okay, that's it. So till next time, and such. Sorry about the sun, but I really didn't pay attention to where it was. Now my hand is cold. Alright, till next time.